A violent attack turning deadly for a South Monterey County couple who stopped in for gas at the Fast Trip gas station in Greenfield just before 11 Monday night.
It definitely appears to be gang related, and multiple rounds fired into the vehicle. The victims were hit multiple times, so it definitely appears to be that they were targeted.
The couple, identified as 26-year-old Aldo Manjujano from King City and his 32-year-old girlfriend Elizabeth Saavedra of Soledad, killed in a hail of gunfire. Investigators say as many as 30 rounds were fired by multiple gunmen. The couple, pronounced deceased at the scene. The couple, victims of South County gang violence. Investigators say the murder may be in retaliation for the shooting death of another King City man last month on his way to his daughter's soccer game in Soledad. Both the shooting and getaway caught on store surveillance cameras and citywide cameras. However, none of it being released as to not jeopardize the investigation. But police say it will lead them to the killers.
Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get straight to that intro. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure that you do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled. So another Northern California shooting goes down, right? Hey, the Salad Bowl area has been on fire lately. If it isn't San Jose, it's definitely the Salad Bowl or Sacramento that's going off back to back to back. The latest shooting happened in Greenfield, also known as Grifas. For those that know, they know, right? The first time I ever heard about the city of Greenfield was when I was in the California Youth Authority. I was doing time, and one of my taitas, meaning one of my closer friends, he was part of the Ramfla, right? Was a dude named Psycho from Greenfield. That was the ugly as sin, deadly as sin too, right? He was with the activities in the business. And me, him, another homeboy from Salas, and my homeboy from the town, we all comprised a Ramfla. And why? I mean, we were the ones that sat together, ate together, chilled together, had each other's backs. And we were all Nortenos at the time. Now, that didn't mean we didn't back the play of every other Norteño that was there, but we picked and chose our favorites, right? And that's just how that was. The Southerners, they also ran Ramflas, and it didn't matter where you were from. It just mattered who you identified with. So he used to tell me stories about Greenfield. And when I got out of the California Youth Authority, I looked them up. I looked up Greenfield. And Grifas is just a small little, not even a city, it's a town, right? Not a lot of gang violence there back in the days, but lately it's been off the hook, right? So the latest shooting happened on the 22nd, just before 11 p.m. at a Fast Trip gas station. Now, I've said it. I just said it in a few videos prior to this. The most deadliest places in California are going to be gas stations, taco trucks, tattoo shops, barber shops, places where people can go just walk in, right? Or pull up, you know, especially gas stations. And the reason being that everyone has to fill up their gas. And if it's late night and you're out there, there's usually a criminal element out there past 10. And if they see you, they could double back. They might see you pumping your gas and you might not see them pull up, right? And that's a recipe for disaster. In this case, this man had a white, it looks like a Chevy truck that was pretty noticeable. You know, it was a nicer truck. And that being a small area, okay, we're talking about King City, Greenfield, Soledad, Salas, the whole Salad Bowl. That's what it's called. All those different cities, Gonza, which is Gonzales. All them little small towns are comprised together and called the Salad Bowl, right? Known for its lettuce and its fameros, its picking and all that. And so a truck like that would stand out, meaning people would know whose truck that is. Have you ever had an enemy and you know what he drives, right? Like, hey, if you see the black Trans Am, you know that's the Night Rider, right? Or if you see fucking the homeboy in the 64 Impala, that's probably Julio Goto's, the red one with the big gold ones on it. It's like you just know what people, their vehicle and what they drive. Well, as this vehicle pulled into this gas station, 30 shots were fired, right? Meaning he was targeted, this individual. Now, the female that was hit, she was with them, and she's just a victim of circumstances, unfortunately, right? And how it all ties in back to me is a trip, right? But I know, again, the haters are going to be like, you know everyone. I don't, but it's a pretty sticky and trippy situation. This one is. So there was a shooting that happened, and I believe Soledad the other day. And law enforcement is trying to say that this is related to it. They're saying that this is retaliatory for that shooting. Now, I don't know if this guy, the victim in this situation, was involved in that, but they believed perhaps that he was, right? And his truck being pretty noticeable, I'm sure these gunmen, whoever did this crime, they knew exactly who they were, exactly who it was as far as in that truck and whose truck it was. So as he pulls up, he's ambushed, right? I don't think they believed that his old lady was in the car with them, because not only was the victim hit several times, so was his girlfriend. And it's a sad situation, man, when innocent bystanders, civilians get caught up in this. But I tell ladies all the time, you know, you kind of know what you sign up for. When you are dating an active gang member or someone who's in the mix or someone you know lives that lifestyle, you know, you're kind of putting your head on the chopping block as well. Anywhere you go with that individual, whatever they've done, the karma might catch up to them and you might be there to get caught up with it. In this situation, that's what it looks like. It looks like this woman who actually is a pillar of her community. We're going to get to all that right now and the tie-in and all that. But she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time with the right one. Okay. She was with her boyfriend, so she was doing nothing wrong. Did she or did she not know what he was involved in? Well, come on now. Usually when you're with someone, they know your whole business. They know you're a gang member. They know what you're about. A lot of dudes pillow talk. A lot of dudes use the gangs and the money and all that to impress women. And there's a lot of women that like a bad boy. They like dudes all tatted down. They like dudes who have a criminal history. It's like an element of danger, and they're getting close to being bad to the bone or something like that, right? But then there are women that the guys keep that lifestyle away from them. Iceman shit, right? They never know what their boyfriend or their husband is out there doing once they leave the house, once the lights go off, right? And whatever they're involved in, a lot of dudes don't want to bring it back to their family. They don't want to bring it back to their home. You know, I remember I was one of those type of individuals. I mean, my family, they knew what I was into, but I never brought the caca home. Never brought homeboys to my pad, my family's pad. Never brought that, you know, stolen merchandise or whatever I was involved in, guns or any of that, to the pad, because I wanted to keep my family as separated from that as possible. I knew that there was women that I used to talk to or date at some points that actually left me. They were like, nah, we don't want, you're doing too much out here. Your name's out here circulating. Fuck that. Circa 92. We're cool off you, right? And I get it. I got it at the time, right? Like, man, they're not trying to get caught up behind the bullshit that I'm involved in. Well, it seems that this woman got caught up in her boyfriend's bullshit. Now, whether he was the exact intended target, he was definitely targeted, but whether he was directly or indirectly involved with the shooting that happened in Soledad, one never knows, does one? But like I said, it's a small area. Everybody knows everybody. So best believe everybody knows who does what. So for them to do this brazen attack, and it was, according to law enforcement, it was several shooters that ambushed them. So they were ready. They knew, like, hey, if this truck is spotted, or they were out there hunting and actually looking for him or following them. You know, they don't just pull up to a gas station. There he is, right? I mean, it could happen. But in this situation, the way it happened, where they just barely pulled up, didn't even get to get gas yet, and just shots rang out. Okay? That's wild. Now, what makes this a very sad situation is the woman losing her life, right? Gang-related killings are gang-related. It just is what it is. That's part of the game, unfortunately, man. When you're out there doing bad shit's probably going to happen to you. You need to understand that. That's part of that life. That comes with it. And I know there's dudes watching this right now. That's right, homie. That's right. Now, that ain't right. that ain't right, because now this dude is taken away from his family, his kids, and there's going to be a whole bunch of individuals, probably younger guys, that are snatched up for this, because best believe this was they got surveillance cameras all around these gas stations. This was recorded. They got high definition AI shit now for facial recognition. They got plate readers. They got all that. So whatever vehicle these guys used to get away, whatever's seen on camera, whether you covered your face or not, they're going to identify someone or a vehicle, especially in that city. There's only so many vehicles like the getaway car. Do you feel me? Like, it's not like there's fucking 10,000 Toyota Tercels or something, right? Like whatever the car was. They're going to figure it out. And once they do and they get one guy apprehended, the rest are going to tumble. Domino effects. What happens, right? So I don't see these guys getting away with this. And I guarantee a lot of them are going to be youngsters, that are gang related, that believe that, hey, eye for an eye type shit. I once believed that. Now I'm of an understanding, and I get it, that it ain't even that fucking serious, right? Hey, the homeboy got caught slipping. The homeboy got caught slipping. Now I understand. Now, fuck that. We ain't going to let the homeboy go out like that. We need to retaliate. The homeboy's already out like that. He's already out like that, man. No retaliation is going to bring him back. None of that. Now all you did was you took a mother away from her children, a pillar of the community, away from everything that they were doing. And that's a sad situation. The guy, hey, if he was involved, these are the breaks, right? Break it up, break down. But the woman didn't need to be caught up. But unfortunately, she was. Now, let's explain about this woman and why this story is getting so much attention. It's a small area. So anytime you have a tragedy like this, the community is going to feel rocked. They're going to feel like, oh, they're not safe. If an attack could happen this brazen at a gas station, are they okay to go fill up their gas there? Is it going to be them next? People start tripping out in the community. And I get it. People that don't know about gangs or are not involved to that level don't understand. It's hard to comprehend how killers can just pull up and do something like that. So heartless, ruthless, right? Ruthless. Never seen right? Straight easy shit. But it's the truth. And so that in itself, right, is making this a bigger story. But also the woman that was shot. So she ran a local barbershop in, I believe, Soledad. And that means, she used to cut kids' hair, do all that. So she was known in the community. And according to what I've seen, that she was actually beloved in the community, very well liked and loved. She was a very good person, a good woman. And not only that, but here's the tie-in. She ran another business, and I think it was folklore dancing. Now, for those of you that don't know, it's like a historic type of dance, right? In the Raza community, the Mexican community. And how do I know this? Because my daughter did the same dance from the same woman. Okay, so a while back, if you guys recall, I was going through some child custody issues with my baby's mom, and we figured that all out, got that all sorted out. My daughter's with me, like she was in the beginning, right? But we had to go through some issues. And while we were going through these issues, my daughter was living with my primo, my cousin, who's just as square as can be, doctor, teacher, all that type of stuff, right? His woman's the same thing. They're just good people. And while this whole custody case was going on, they stepped up to help. Like, hey, because my daughter couldn't stay with the mother because mother was different, right? And I was out of state, and it was a whole thing. I sent my daughter to go visit. They tried to keep her and not send her back, and it was just a whole bunch of bullshit, right? So, she was staying with my family, with my primo. And my primo's like one of those dudes, he don't own a TV. He's fucking just lives in the 1800s type shit. And he decided he wanted my daughter to, when she wasn't doing homework in school, because he put her in school immediately, he wanted her to do these dance classes. So he put her into these classes. Now, you got to understand that his old lady is from Salinas. My cousin actually lives in Salas right now. Okay. And he's from Merced, and he met his old lady in college, whatever. And her whole family's from King City, Salinas, the whole Salabo area, right? They own a company over there. I'm not going to put them on blast, but that's where they live. So that's where they were staying. So he put my daughter into these classes. I have pictures of her all dressed up. She has not the Aztec paint, but what is that? The Day of the Dead paints all on her face, and the nice big flowers in her head. And You know, he was sending me these pictures like, hey, look, your daughter's doing great, bro. Me and my old lady, we put her in the folklore classes. It's a dance, kind of like a history dance thing that they do for the Mexicans, right? I was happy. I was cool. Well, the lady who was teaching that class is actually the lady that got shot here, that passed away, unfortunately, right? So she was doing that in the community, teaching history to the youngsters about the raza and about, you know, dancing and the great things, not the bad things like the gangs and the violence, but the good stuff, the history, the culture, the cultura, right? And it's so unfortunate that she had to lose her life being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But these are the type of people that suffer, people that are doing good for our communities and for our people, and they have to suffer at the hands of gang members that don't even know why they're killing, or even if they do have an understanding of why they're doing it. Ultimately, man, they're gonna beg for forgiveness later on. You know, I've been locked up my whole life, pretty much 90% of it, right? And every dude I ran into, there was maybe 2 or 3 that I ran into that didn't show remorse for their victims, that didn't care, that were just like, and the reason why they didn't care is because they were upset. It's not because they didn't care about this the person and the person's family and all that. They had hearts. Their life was over, so that made them hate the world, right? So it was more so of that. And the other couple that I ran into, a couple dudes, you know, they had hit chomos or whatever, so, and I didn't care, right? None of us cared. But you understand what I'm saying. So most dudes regret, and it's crazy because when you finally get to that regret, or you finally get to, and a lot of people regret initially because they're locked up, because they're caught up behind shit like this. But eventually you start to regret for the right reasons, like, damn, I can't believe I took a life, or damn, I can't believe, you know, that I put that family through that, or my family through that. It's fucked up. So best believe these individuals, once caught, incarcerated, sentenced to all day, they're going to regret. You know, what they should regret most of all is what they did to that woman, you know, that didn't deserve it. And like I said, it's just, she's a victim of circumstances. Whatever her old man was into, if he was targeted, it's sad. And what's even worse is we'll never know, you know, what was going through his head. But if he knew that he was involved in something, he knew motherfuckers was on him, you know, to even pick up his old lady and be driving around with her is cold-blooded. You know, I hate when people they victimize people by putting them in situations when they're not knowing. You know, that's like, I've had homeboys that were just chilling, man, with their families, and other homeboys go to swoop them up. Hey, bro, knocking on their door. Hey, you want to go over here right quick? And the homeboy doesn't know what that fool just did. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Jumps in the whip, goes to the store. Next thing you know, cops pulling him over. They find guns all in the car, and the homeboy just did a robbery. And now they're both caught up. You know, victim of circumstance, like he didn't even know. That's the worst thing of all, is when you didn't even do shit and you're caught up behind it, right? So this situation right here, a lot of shit was done. This woman lost her life. This dude lost his life, and Greenfield is on fire. The whole Salabo area, like I said, Chole, which is Soledad. That's a nickname for Soledad, right? Chole. There's been a couple shootings that have happened there in the recent, like in the past week. And now this Greenfield shooting, the shit's going to just keep going on and escalating, especially when it's gang related, because fools need to be one up. See, there's not no even Steven in the gang lifestyle. It's not you kill our homeboy, we kill yours. It's never like that. You get our homeboy, we're getting 5 of yours. That's the mentality of a gang member. We always got to be one up, Aki, right? We got to be one up. And the other team ain't going out like that. They want to win too. So it's just back and forth. But in the midst of this, it's not a game. People are losing their lives. Innocent people, you know, those shots, over 30 shots fired, several shots into the victims. But where'd all those other ones go? You know, innocent bystanders that are just pulling up to get them a Frazzle or a fucking Slurpee could have got rocked with one of those bullets. You know, I've seen things happen at gas stations my whole life, man. I can tell you, me, the asshole in me, right? When I was a gangster, when I was involved, I thought I was bad. I thought, and I always had this thing of impressing everybody. I wanted to be fucking known as crazy, right? And I didn't have to do all that, but I went the extra mile. And I remember pulling up to an AM PM, and we were on our way to the Golden State, to Frisco. It was me, a couple homegirls, my boy. And I remember he walked into the AMPM, the Arco AMPM, like, damn, I'm going to grab something real quick. My homegirl was pumping her gas. He went to go pay and grab some drinks. And we were headed to City Lights. It's a fucking club in Frisco. So everyone used to go there back in the 90s and the 2000s, right? So like, bam, let's go. And when we pulled up, I seen my homeboys all right there, like a lot of gang members right there, just chilling. Right, they were parking lot pimping, and I seen this white dude get out with some wood, brother. He was getting off his car, had nothing to do with anyone, innocent bystander. Pobrecito, man. He just pulled up to the wrong spot, right? And they were harassing him. They were on him, right? Dude wasn't no punk, though. He was like, man, fuck you and fuck your mama, right? And everything you love. He was over there arguing with me like a dumbass. Right when we pull up, my homeboy jumps off to go pay. I see this. I'm sitting in the back seat of the truck, the SUV, right? I jump off, boom, run over there, full fucking Superman mode, right? And just, boom, hit the white dude. Don't know if he was, who he was, what he was doing. I just could see the interaction in the body language, right? The homies are like, oh, right? And I'm like, yeah. I thought it was all bad. You know, come to find out that dude was related to some law enforcement officers, man, that was on the hunt for me. They weren't looking for me for a ticket. They was looking for me, right? And I heard about it. I was ducking. I was ducking and dodging. And then the homegirl got all mad. We ended up not going to Frisco. You always fuck it up. You're stupid. Whatever, man. It's just these gas station things, man. I advise people at night, if you're going to go to a gas station, especially if you're in the mix, watch where you're going, man. Because dudes will pull up and let you have it. Don't you see these videos all day on social media, especially in places like Chicago and down south, like Tennessee and Atlanta? Man, them gas stations are fucking them fast strips. Them motherfuckers should say you can get gas for $4.35. You know what I'm saying? A bulletproof vest, and you need all that over there, and some Church's chicken. They got everything there. What is it? Crunchy chicken. Whatever, man. With that being said, such a sad thing, man. This woman had to lose her life, and this guy, I guess the investigation will keep on going, and we'll find out what happens. Thumbs up, or let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. This video right here is sponsored by Barrio Liquors in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the Turlock area, pull up to the Barrio and get you something cold to drink and support. Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Tucson, Arizona. If you live in the Tucson area and you need a smooth, cool, low estimate on some good yard work, man, make sure that you guys tap in with Sticks and Stones Yard Service. It's time to support the small local raza businesses. This is the gun. Bang, bang.